And now we got one last short to talk about. Speaking of of
Speaking of,
intentional homoeroticism or not.
yeah, seriously, good segue. I love when we can do a good segue. It's
Yeah.
always very
It
satisfying.
is. It is indeed.
It's called "I Don't Want to Be a Man," which, from the title, you can tell that something gay is happening here.
My first note on this is very funny, very gay. Which it is. It is. I think this is, of all the movies that we've watched, this is probably the most explicitly gay movie, where it's
Yeah,
like it is part of the plot, kind of. Um, it's not like, oh yeah, two ladies dancing and like maybe giving a little smooch.
right.
This is like, no, 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 no. This is, well, it's weird because it almost fully commits to it, and then I feel like kind of at the last minute kind of falls back on being very heteronormative at the very end.
Unless they're both bi.
True, but I think it's interesting that it's like it's pushing up against what I assume were the kind of social norms.
Yeah,
I mean, this was a German film, right?
yeah,
My understanding of Germany during this time period comes mostly from the Netflix show Babylon Berlin, which is set in the 20s. So I don't really know how like social norms differed in Germany versus the U.S.
Well, from what I've heard, and I don't know certainly, but Germany was one of the more free places as far as queerness went up until the Nazis kind of put an end to all of it.
That's
Um,
definitely the impression that I got from watching the Netflix show. You know what? How most people learn history now is watching Netflix shows.
yeah,
I mean, right off the bat, I feel like this doesn't feel like the American comedies that we've been watching. I think both in terms of the style and the subject matter.
it is very funny,
Yeah.
but it's not slapstick really.
Yeah, it's like it's more like sitcom, like funny situations
Yes,
and like how are
hijinks.
they gonna get out of this? Um, we meet a young woman, Aussie, I guess is how you pronounce her name. I don't know what the correct German pronunciation is. I'm
Yeah,
gonna say Aussie. Aswalda, uh, who is a young woman who likes to drink and cuss and gamble, and her uncle and governess don't like that she is not very ladylike. So
yeah.
they hire a tutor, I guess, guardian,
They call it a guardian. Yeah.
whatever sort of weird social construct that was in Germany at the time, to teach her proper manners. And there was immediate like sexual tension with this tutor coming in and like being very strict and telling her what she can't do, and it's like a weird like dom sub thing from the get go, where it's like this is already weirdly sexual,
That's funny.
not explicitly, but there's
It's
just
an energy. It's a
there's a
vibe.
weird energy right from the beginning. Exactly.
I think like one of my biggest laughs from the movie, which she's already kind of established as this sort of spunky, rebellious kid, and then like this kind of stuffed up guy comes to be her guardian, and then she just like points at him, and she's just like, "Oh, so you're the one who's in for a rude awakening," and and I thought that she like had like such a good look on her face when she did it. Like it was a really good like comedic acting, I thought.
Yeah, there's a lot of very good silent movie acting in ways that are not sort of like the wild, like whoa, throwing plates up in the air. Like
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
like good little character moments like that.
Mhm.
So Aussie decides that she doesn't want to be told what to do, and that societal rules for women are bullshit, and goes and buys a tuxedo in a tailor shop full of
Yeah.
horny dudes. And there's a lot of this is like the slapstickiest scene in the whole movie of like
Right.
there's all the guys like turning and looking at her and still continuing to work, but they're all messing up what they're trying to do, so they're all like throwing pants to each other and missing, and like the pants are landing on each other's heads, and they're
And they're all like kind of
um
clamoring to be the one to get her measurements, and they split it up and they say like, "Oh, I'll get her arm. I'll get her other arm."
yeah.
Um,
um
I thought a sort of key line as far as the queerness of this too. is that when she's feeling restricted by all of the stuff that is being put on her as a woman, right before she decides to make this choice to dress up as a man, she says, "Why didn't I come into this world as a boy?"
Yeah.
So something to chew on there. Definitely.
Yeah. There's a lot of that in this movie of
Yeah.
that kind of like masculine and feminine definition and kind of the societal like things put on both of those.
It's a movie that is about the restrictions of patriarchy on men and women.
Yeah. And so she dresses up in a tuxedo and she's like going out in as a man about town. And it's like immediately chastised for not being manly enough. And there's like she's on the tram or the streetcar or whatever, and it's like they're like, oh, like you're supposed to sit up for a lady, you're supposed to give a lady your seat. Like, what are you doing? And there's like she's like, oh, I have to like be chivalrous now. God damn it. But so she goes to the club, and there's this sort of thing where it's like, oh yeah, the ladies just sort of like give their coat to the men, and the men all like go to the coat check with all the ladies' coats. And so suddenly she's like having to like wait at the coat check with all the other dudes. And she's like, God, I want to just go in. Like, I have to like wait in line now. What is this?
It walks this movie like this at this point in the movie, I was realizing that the "I don't want to be a man" is kind of referring to, because it's this series of her going like, wow, men have it tough actually,
Yeah.
which it is a fine line to walk.
It is.
Because what they're doing is that they are pointing out actual inequities in society, and ways that are that men are told to be from a perspective of patriarchy that are restrictive on men. And those are the things that she is feeling, but the overall thing that is sometimes coming across is that men have it rough, which is not necessarily the case.
I think that's definitely, there are sections of the movie that are kind of getting at that just to kind of even it out, I guess. But I think that the overall,
it's a source of comedy too.
I mean, the overall thing that I got from the movie is just like gender's a construct and it's dumb. It's like that seems like the main point that this movie is kind of trying to make
from 100 years ago.
Yeah. She runs into the guardian, her guardian at the club, who doesn't recognize her and thinks she's another man in a tuxedo, and they both get super drunk and start making out. And then
that's true.
They switch coats and end up in each other's houses and have to like sneak back to each other's houses because they're like, oh, what happened? And so then like as they're kind of trying to like sneak back into each other's house, they like see each other again, and the ruse is revealed. And then they just kind of continue making out and having like a weird power dynamic kink thing happening. But it does sort of, it comes back, it like starts with them both in their corners of like, there's a man, he's got all his masculine shit going on. There's a woman, she's got all her feminine shit going on. They kind of meet in the middle of like abandoning all of that. And then they kind of, in the end, kind of return to their corners a bit.
Right, because I mean, in the end, she takes the drag off, and they kind of fully understand what their dynamic is once he sees her kind of half in drag and half not in drag. And then he realizes that it was her that he was hanging out with the whole night, and that they can just get together in a societally acceptable heterosexual way. I thought it was interesting also that the way, they get drunk and they start making out, but like they get drunk because she starts kind of messing with him because she kind of like resents him for being the one who's going to get her in line as a ladylike person. So she starts like messing with his date or whatever, and then
he's like flirting. He's flirting with a woman, right? And then she's like trying to steal the woman away.
Exactly. While she's in drag, so her the guy comes over and then tries to like start a fight or something like that, and then while he does, the lady that he's coming on to like is already kissing another guy, and the you know, the Aussie and the Guardian, they look at each other and they go, "Oh, women," and then and then they bond in a masculine way by smoking cigars and drinking lots of champagne, and so they get so insanely drunk, and their bonding is so masculine that they just have to make out.
Yeah.
Is what happens.
It's what you have to do, I guess.